You're gonna say I'm biased, but the Honda Ruckus is a great starter bike.
Now hear me out, not everybody wants to go potato down the street or swerve in and out of traffic at 120 miles an hour. Hell, even Modenosity, Mr. Daily 100, he actually bought a Ruckus and did a whole build series on it, which you can see here. So to find out what makes this scooter so popular, I'm gonna tell you 10 things about it. I mean, for me, it was like love at first sight, right? Look at it, it's so minimalistic. It looks like a naked style scooter, if you will, especially compared with the sister, the Honda Metropolitan, which previous generation actually even had the same front frame as the Ruckus, which allow you to do certain things like the Met Ruck. All these stock pictures don't really do it justice. So let's take it over to Georgia and see if Ghost on Two Wheels can help us with some better rollers. The second thing is the Honda reliability. That GET engine, or the stock engine, is pretty much bulletproof. This point will become incredibly funny later on in the video. It's a liquid cooled engine that the OGs have actually swore by. And they actually say that if you do the 500-mile break-in, you're good to go. 3, you have a huge community. Back in the day, there was actually a forum called TotalRuckus.com, and it was a world of knowledge. That's where all the building and modding and speed testers actually started. But now you can find them in Facebook groups or even Reddit if you want to. YouTube also has a world of knowledge on how to get faster on the stock motor and how to do other modifications to the Ruckus. So the Man in the Box guys actually started the Smoky Mountain Crawl in Tennessee to ride the Tail of the Dragon on Ruckuses. And then it evolved into going with Groms and other minis before it moved over to Barber Motorsports in Alabama, which as of this year, 2024, is the last time it's being held over there. But after that event moved over to Barber, there was another team of people that kept going the Townsend and Tail of the Dragon and called it the Smoky Mountain Small Bore Rally. It still goes on today in that same spot where it started as the crawl. There's also rides in the Pacific Northwest as well as in California, as well as local rides every week or so, depending on the weather. But those local rides are now catering more to Groms and mini motos but Ruckuses are still welcome. Number 4 is the CVT. Hey, if Honda can use the DCT on their bigger bikes as a selling point, I can talk about the CVT and the Ruckus as a selling point. Yes, I know they work differently. At the end of the day, we want more riders. So the fact that they don't have to learn how to shift as well as this new environment when they first start, it's a win in my book. I'm not here to judge. Go potato somewhere else, okay? The 5th thing is you may not need a driver's license to ride around your town, kind of. So here in Texas, you actually need a motorcycle license to ride the Honda Ruckus in stock form. But there are other states that you may just require some sort of exemption, or you may not even need a driver's license. Take that as you will. I personally took an MSF course here in Texas because technically here you actually require to have a motorcycle license to ride the Ruckus in stock form. Not only did I learn a lot in that course, but it also gave me a break in my insurance whenever I showed them that I actually took it. Which brings me to the fact that the Ruckus is a super cheap ride. For about $40, you can do some of the maintenance as well as the oil change. You can also do it at home after watching a few videos. Depending on your age and driver's history, you could potentially insurance your Honda Ruckus for less than $200 a year. And with a 1.3 gallon tank and over 100 miles per gallon, you're gonna be able to take this Ruckus for a while in one tank. I bought a 1/3 of a gallon left. The gas light does come on, so just be aware of that. And although you'll go a long way, you may not go as fast as you possibly want at first. So let's see how fast Ghost can go.
Can't believe Small Bore's got me out here recording Ruckus stuff. Gosh, do I have to do everything for everybody? Unbelievable.
Okay, we may have to come back to him for that. The 7th reason this bike is amazing is you can mod it to whatever it is you want. You got a Honda Ruckus, so you probably already like the way it looks. But there's little tweaks you can do to not only make it look better for you, but also be more comfortable. One of the first things I do say you should do is buy pegs for it. Not only will they give you more room and a more comfortable ride, you don't have to put your feet on the gas tank, which makes it feel like your knees are kind of by your ears. Also, you can buy forward pegs that allow you to stretch out a little bit on longer rides. If you do end up installing the forward as well as the mid pegs, they can actually help you become part of like crash protection for your ride. because I found that out the hard way, as you can see. I also suggest you get some LED headlights. You can either get the bulbs to replace the stock ones in the Honda Ruckus, which you can see here. You can get an LED bar to replace the stock round bug eye look, or you can do a combination of both if that's what you like. At the end of the day, if you're riding at night, that's one mod that will help you be a little more safe and see your surroundings and where you're going a lot better. But if you have LED headlights, you're gonna want LED headlights as well, because why not? At that point, you'll need an LED relay to actually be able to control the blinking at the right speed. Sometimes these LED taillights actually have a function where when you press the brake, it will flash to allow the people behind you to see that you're actually slowing down more than just bright up a little bit. So it will flash and then it'll stay, just to give them a heads up. So if you're looking for comfort, getting a lower seat frame is gonna be a huge improvement. The one that I have on my Ruckus is a door from my end box, which not only lowers the seat, but brings it back a little bit, which gives me a bit more leg room, if you will. But most of the seat frames out there that are lowered also push you a bit back. So just be aware of that. So if you do combine the pegs as well as the lower seat frame, you're able to have more room with your handlebars so that they don't hit your knees. So at this point, you can actually lower your handlebars, which a lot of people do, and they end up putting some sort of racing or straight bar, which gives you a bit of more of an aggressive look when you're riding the Ruckus. Has Ghost reached his stop speed? So now that your scooter looks like a performance scooter, let's actually make it fast. Before you dive into any performance mods, I suggest you get a tack. So there are multiple ways you can actually mod the Ruckus to make it perform better. So let's start with the stock plus version of the modding. You can keep the look of the bike stock. With a little help from a CDI and some CVT tuning, you can actually have an increase in your top speed and get there a bit faster as well. But there's also the lower stretched and fatty wheel in the back. You'll probably want to match your front and rear tires, as well as get a better exhaust, because the stock one will look a little weird when it's actually stretched out like that. But with a new exhaust, you'll also have to go into the carburetor and change the jets, as well as possibly the air intake, to make sure that it's still running correctly. So you spent all this money modding your stock engine, but you still want more acceleration and a bit more top speed. There are different ways you can go about a motor swap that will actually get you where you possibly want. For those of us that want more speed, fast acceleration, and sometimes less reliability, there's a GY6. It's the most common swap that we have. There's multiple mounts for it, and you can pick and choose for whichever one you want. But there have also been people that swap 2-stroke engines into the Ruckus, and they're able to power wheelie. You can also do 4-stroke Sumo swap. If you want to keep it in the Honda family, you can do a PCX swap. If you're feeling more adventurous, then a PCX swap or a Zuma swap too. There's actually a video out there of a guy that put a 1000cc motor in his Ruckus to whatever you want with it. But you've been seeing a bunch of videos of the Surons and how fast they are. Well, you can actually put an electric motor in the Ruckus if you want to. Like I said, as long as you have the budget for this, you can mod your Ruckus however you want. There's endless possibilities, right? Just take the scenic route. It's not all about speed. Even potato riders, ADV riders, and street riders sometimes prefer the scenic route than going straight the highway. Take Houston as an example. Even if you can reach 65 miles an hour on your scooter, people are cruising at like 80 on the highway. So it may not be the best or most safe place for you to ride. Number 9, you're downtown and you need to run some errands? Honda Ruckus. You live in the city and work in the city. Intercity commuting? Honda Ruckus. Lower speed roads? Honda Ruckus. Speaking of lower speed, see what Ghost is doing. You can park in the sidewalk if you feel comfortable. I've done it in the past. I know a few other people have done it in the past, but you could always just take a regular parking spot. Number 10, other than different colors, the design of the Honda Ruckus hasn't changed much, if at all, in over a decade. Which means most of the parts that you can find out there are going to be universal. So knowing that, there are 2 ways you should go about it. If you're planning on swapping the motor anyway, I would personally buy secondhand. If you have some mechanical know-how or want to learn, also buy secondhand. But if you know how slow you'll be going and you're okay with that and not really modding anything on your bike, just go with a manufacturing warranty by buying from a dealer. Just do remember that it's going to be more expensive than buying from a reseller. Bonus tip, if you have friends that have a Honda Ruckus or a scooter in general, just go ride with them. Riding by yourself is great, but at the end of the day, if you can ride in a group, the fun multiplies exponentially. You as the rider are the one making the decision for yourself. Here in the US, you got the freedom to start in a leader bike. Do I suggest it? Nah, but if that's what you want, there's nothing I can do to stop you. Those of you that have been here are probably asking why I'm not out riding the Ruckus. Because right now, and it's in a few pieces, but this will allow us to actually start a new series, which is Make the Ruckus Great Again. So let's do that.
Ah, espera.